Most people will look at me today and won't even think that I'm from the hood. So I was born and raised in the hood for 21 years of my life. The positive, the negative experiences is what shaped me to be the person that I am today. For those who are watching, I have a story to tell you. The title of this video is How the Hood Has Left Me. This is my testimony. Growing up in the hood, I've learned a lot. Many positive experiences. I've learned how to be self-employed by my mom introducing me to collecting cans and bottles, going from garbage can to deposit them inside the machines at the supermarkets to make my own money. That was the first kind of quote-unquote self-employment that I've ever had. I've learned how to ride a bike in the hood. I've also learned how to make friends and pick and choose my friends wisely. I've also have learned how to play certain sports, met positive influences that came back to the hood to encourage the young children to do better and to chase the best. I've learned how to dream in the hood too. I've learned about God. I've learned about the Holy Spirit. But most importantly, I've acquired street smarts in the hood. While all of those sounds like many good reasons as to why to stay there, adults around me have always said, hey, it is time that you make it out the hood. You know, your dreams are to make it out of the hood so that you can do better, you can chase better. And that was all that was ever told to me by a whole bunch of adults. And for those who received the message, worked hard to apply themselves so that by today, many of them are doing very well. I know some people that are managers of McDonald's, self-employed, very well off by the vision of making it out the hood. And making it out the hood is a beautiful testimony. But then there are some people that don't make it out the hood and they just stay there. They say that everybody's the same, that that anybody that makes it out the hood, they think they're better than them because they look down on them, but no real reason as to why they feel they think they're better. For instance, this was told to me throughout my whole life. You think you're better than me. You think you're this, than that. When I've never alluded to me being better, I just live a lifestyle that most people covet in the hood. They wish they could live this lifestyle. Some people swear to God they don't wish they lived my lifestyle. They wish they were not like me, but at the same time can read me to filth very well in the hood. Enough about my ranting. I remember in the 6th grade, when I was hanging out with people that I went to school with, I thought that they would appreciate me, that they would be kind and care for me because we all went to the same school. I was led to believe wrong. These exact kids I graduated PS156 with went back into the PS156 park when it was open and anybody could go back there. It was literally Thug City. I went back there. I was told not to go back there, but I went back there anyway, thinking that I was gonna make friends, that these people were my friends, but they made a fool out of me. They were asking me questions and I was answering them, and they weren't laughing with me, but they were laughing at me. And I'm just being bright and being myself until suddenly they grabbed me, they took my clothes off. They stripped me for all my clothes and humiliated me in front of everybody that was there. And that same exact day, a guy by the name of Nathaniel Walcott, God rest his soul today, stole my bicycle, never returned it. And when I approached him about it, literally 6 weeks later, he told me he left it in front of my house, but swore to God he knew where I lived. God rest his soul again. Then the whole thing about the bicycles being stolen from me. My mom has worked very hard throughout her whole life to try to give my brother and I a lifestyle that was unlike others in the community. My mom wasn't the wealthiest woman, but she kept God first in everything that she did. And the money that God has blessed her with, she has blessed us with some of the nicest things that I thought I didn't realize was actually worth a lot. I'm just a kid riding a bicycle and somebody steals it from me, and it's another kid, another teenager, takes the bike from me, and I'm thinking that they're gonna just wanna ride around the block. They come around the block, I'm still sitting there for 45 minutes wondering when they're coming back. My uncle says, "Where's your bike?" I'm like, "Oh, my friend is riding it, he'll be back soon." My uncle looks at me in disbelief and says, "Why would you let somebody ride your bike? They're not coming back." And then after time goes by and I'm just getting real sad and I'm starting to feel like I was lied to. But it didn't happen once, it happened a few times. After I started telling people, no, you can't ride my bike, they were stolen from me. These kids literally pushed me off my bike, hit me, beat me up for my bicycle. And I've never seen these bikes again. It came to the point where my bicycle was getting stolen so much that my mom said she was tired of buying me bicycles, that she will never buy me another bicycle again. So I had to work hard for those bicycles. I had to work hard personally, try to get those bikes. And so I did. I purchased me another bike. I was 20 years old, working at Pizza Hut in Brownsville. Started pizza delivery on my bicycle, my personal bicycle. And guess what? Left it outside. Somebody looked at it and stole it. People would look at me and say, why didn't you lock your bike up? Why didn't you touch? Why would anybody want to take something that belongs to me? That's when I started losing hope in humanity. So I met a person in Maryland and I took travels to see this individual, and I started learning about Maryland and I started loving it. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna move out to Maryland, and sure enough, that's where better job opportunities has come my way. And sure enough, that's where I became a cable technician and more money started coming into my pockets. And I ended up purchasing a brand new car. Stayed in Maryland for 6 months and I decided to move back to Brownsville, where I'm from. I'm happy about this. People in the hood are literally seeing me with this nice car. People are calling me saying, oh, somebody broke into your back window. And I'm looking and I see a rock literally sitting there. And I'm like, wait a minute, we haven't spoken years. What are you talking about? Wondering, why is this person calling me? It even came to the point where in my private driveway, because my mom owned a one-family house in Brownsville, you literally had people coming into my driveway, not breaking into my car, but opening my car door. I lived in Maryland for a time to where I could leave my car door unlocked and nobody would go inside. So in my private driveway, I just went home and just went upstairs, went to sleep, woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. And then I see everything in my car ramsacked through. My glove compartment was off the hinges. My doors were open. Papers were just scattered everywhere. What were people looking for in the car when all I had was papers? And that's when I said, you know what? Brownsville is bad. Like, I'm not living in this community anymore. I gotta go. Then I decided to leave the hood. So I moved to Connecticut, lived there for 3 years, and I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio is its own hood. Living in Brownsville has taught me the areas where I should live and where I should put my money towards. Not all of Cincinnati is bad. There are plenty of good spots, but many of the spots, what goes on in these different places, and literally the same stuff that goes on in Brownsville. Maybe you may not have kids stealing bicycles because a lot of these developments are enclosed, and guess what? They're not gonna run down the street with the bike, because guess what? The next nearest development is 4 miles away. So nobody would steal bicycles. Kids will play with each other in the streets and they will all be together in one community. But it's not just the community, it's literally, it's the teenager. I don't wanna live in these communities and then have to worry about my car being shot up. Or better yet, my car stolen from me. It's not these adults stealing cars. A lot of these adults are trying to work and get a job, or know that they're in a situation that they can't afford anything, so they do what they gotta do, or they just accept fate. It's these kids that steal from you, and then it's like, where are these parents? Half these kids don't even have parents in their lives to tell them what's right and what's wrong. But I told myself, because I've went through what I've went through in Brownsville, I know I don't wanna pay like $900 for rent, because I'm gonna end up in a neighborhood that is unfavorable and unsafe. Even when I was in Connecticut, I said I'm not gonna pay less than $900 for rent. Usually, when you're in areas where you're paying a significant amount of money for rent, you're usually around a lot of working class people. But when you start allowing people to live in certain areas that are on Section 8, and it's not everybody on Section 8, I must make that disclaimer because you're gonna have fools that say, why are you talking about everybody on? No, that's not true. Who are not used to having anything nice, that come into the area and tear the area up. The hood has left me because of the terrible experiences that I've been through. So what I did, I followed the advice of the adults that I grew up around in New York City. Oh, you're gonna make it out the hood someday. And that is what I did. Fought hard every day to make sure that I don't have to experience what I've experienced growing up ever again. But recently, I've connected with somebody who's 22 years old, who is of hood experience, who may have grown up in a super suburb of an area where wealthier minded people live. He decided to go around his family where his family may not be the most fortunate, and chose to live the life of the family so he can be connected with the family and the friends that he has, and chose the hood lifestyle versus the lifestyle that was of class and also of fortune, not understanding why anybody would go from fortune to the hood. Don't ask me why. I mean, maybe leave in the comment section as to why teenagers would leave a life of middle class and fortune to go down to the hood and adopt those ideologies. But trying to be his friend and trying to let him know that, hey, maybe there are certain things that you shouldn't be doing. Maybe you shouldn't be smoking weed because it will allow you to get better job opportunities. Bringing him into my loft where I live, and then also bringing him into my car. And then he starts analyzing when I said you shouldn't be smoking weed because there's better opportunities that you can chase at a young age. And the fact that you should make it out the hood, do what you got to do to make it out the hood, took those words and then said to me that I think that I'm better than everybody it is around me. Tried to compare the career that I work as a way to say that I think I'm better because I drive buses, that I have a Mercedes-Benz as a car, that I think I'm better. And I'm just laughing. Am I actually laughing at the person that is actually saying these things, or am I laughing at what was said? I mean, I'm laughing at what was said because two things. One, this is a 22-year-old trying to check somebody my age who has a plethora of experience, who knows where they've come from and why they don't want to ever be there again. And two, laughing at this because he does not know how hard I had to work to be able to acquire the lifestyle that I want. Then he even had the nerve to try to call me white, that I'm trying to be white, because my views on life are not compared to his. At the end of the day, he's only 22 years old, very immature, has a lot of growing up to do. And two, he has to have more experience with different people that are doing better than him so that he can one day aspire to be just like them. But he stated that he doesn't want to be like them because he thinks that they're stuck up. These are blind, indefinite words that he used to describe people, and better yet to describe me. But there's a difference if I'm out there looking at people and saying, wow, you guys are horrible. You guys are crappy. You guys are trashy. And not trying to find solution. And then there's a difference of just laughing at people as if I wasn't there before. Yes, my opinions are very, very strong. A lot of the things that I say on Facebook can potentially trigger people, but a lot of these posts that I make come from my personal life experiences. Every video that I make comes from the life that I've lived and the experiences that I've had. And anytime somebody comments or argues or says anything that has nothing to do with the video about how they feel about me, it only reminds me of where I've come from and why I am glad I am not there anymore. In conclusion, I left the hood and the hood left me once I've had my experiences out the hood and have learned that there's a bigger and brighter world out there than what surrounds you in the world today. For those who are trying to make it out the hood, who want to do better, all it takes is to be friends with people that are doing better than you, that you aspire to be like, so you can then one day see it for yourself. You cannot be a millionaire and you're only talking to people that are literally trying to make $20 off of you, $12 nowadays, so they can take care of their little fixes. Sometimes you have to involve yourself with people that are doing way better than you. And even if they think they're better, to learn from them so that one day you can start doing better yourself. You cannot make improvements in your life only spending time with people that resonate with you. Sometimes you have to experience people in many different ways so that you can start drawing better conclusions on how you want to live your life so that you can start making upgrades in the life that you wish to live. Yes, I pity the 22-year-old very badly because he is stuck in the mindset of the hood and only knows the hood and will accept the hood only because he thinks that everybody is the same and everybody knows they're the same. But those exactly are the same people that are not willing to grow in their lives either and are happy with where they're at. This all comes from my experience. In order to make upgrades in your life, you have to change the people that you associate yourself. Hang out with the people that you want to be like. Learn from those who may be doing better so that one day when you do start seeing better, you'll be very appreciative of those that showed you something different. And this is all why the hood has left me. Thanks for watching.